Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, how are you today? I hope you are guys in good condition. First of all, I want to tell you about my group. So my group from group 2 and consists of me, Rosyiana, Lovelyta, Diniar, Kharisma, Madarina, Mufattiha, and last but not least, Yasmin. Okay guys, in this occasion, me and my friends will explain to you about a poem entitled Do Not Stand at My Grave and Weep by Frye. Frye talks about death in a tone that tends to be friendly, and she used words of comfort for those who would mourn his death, and she thought of death not as the end of one life, but as the beginning of another. Next, I will explain to you about the background of Frye as a poet. Mary Elizabeth Frye, as known as Frye, was born on November 13, 1805. Frye was one of America's most famous poets, but she never earned a penny for her poetry. Frye claims that if she takes the money for the poem, it would lose its value. She also never asked for a copyright to the poem, claiming that even though she wrote the words, the poem wasn't her but belonged to the world. And now I want to tell you about the background of this poetry. This poem was written in 1932, and Frye, as the poet, wrote the poem specifically for a young German Jewish girl who lives with her and is worried about her mother who lives in Germany. She wrote this poem from the point of view of the girl's mother to give hope and comfort in these young girls, who had suffered so much. In 1939, the U.S. Congress published her poem for the United Spanish War Veteran Memorial Service. The effect of the poem is monumental. It resonates with every reader who has ever lost a loved one. And the next material will be delivered by my friends.
Okay. Rhyme. The rhyme scheme in the poem is AABB. Every two lines rhyme with each other. The rhyme scheme, which is consistent throughout the poem, is easy to notice. The poem doesn't really have a set number of quatrains, but it does have a regular rhyme scheme. AABB. Repetition. I'm not there. 2 and 13. Do not stand at my grave and weep. Title 1. Line. The poetry Do Not Stand at My Grave and Weep is a call no action in 12 lines. It's composed of rhyming couplets in iambic tetrameter. Through a few lines have extra syllables breaking up the structure to give extra emphasis. Stanza. Stanza in poetry Do Not Stand at My Grave and Weep. There is one stanza. Stanza from, namely coupled, a stanza with 2 lines that rhyme.
In this section, I will explain about imagery. Imagery is an element of poetry that calls on one of the 5 senses to create a set of mental images, specifically using lively or figurative language to represent an idea, object, or action. The object or experience that the poet contemplates is usually perceived by the poet in relation to a second object or even person or thing. The type of imagery have auditory, tactile, gustatory, olfactory, and visual. In poet Do Not Stand at My Grave and Weep, in line 1 and 2, there are several imagery, namely, weep is auditory, grave is visual, and the next is analysis line 1 and 2. Mary Elizabeth Frye begins the poem with these 2 lines, which define the meaning of the poem. The speaker is someone who has died and left this message for his loved ones. He asks his mourner not to stand in his grave and cry. Even though he has been buried, he says he doesn't live there anymore. Perhaps he had moved to a better place. He will be there with them in their memories and thought.
In line 3, I am the thousand winds that blow. This line, she promised to be with them in the wind that blow. She states that they will be able to feel in the wind. These words are words of comfort for those who grieve, for the speaker has claimed that she did not sleep in grief, but she is still with them in the elements of nature. In this line, the person expresses how the person she loves can feel, see, and experience her presence in a different way, namely through to the blowing wind. In the first line, I am the diamond cleans on snow. The poem is full of beautiful images that express the emotion of the speakers who has died and left her loved ones. An example of an image from the poem below, glittering diamond, is an example of an image of the light that gives a glimmer of hope to its readers. The author tells her loved ones that they can think of her when they say the sparkle of light created by the snow in the sun. It is how she is not going anywhere, and it is always around them, like the beautiful and cool sparkling snow that is used to comfort and convince loved ones of its presence.
Okay, the first section I will analyze the imagery of poem in line 5 and 6 with the poem are I am the sunlight on ripened grain, I am gentle autumn rain. Okay, in this section, sunlight is tactile and visual, ripen is tactile, grain is visual, and then gentle is a tactile, autumn is a tactile and visual, and also rain is a tactile. In the line 5 with the poem is I am the sunlight on ripened grain has meaning that the speaker told herself is like sunlight on ripened grain that always give the warmth of those people around her. In line 6 with the poem is I am the gentle autumn rain has meaning that the speaker feel like the gentle autumn rain because even though she is not in there, so she causes the sadness, but he is feeling like rain in the autumn with her mildness. In stanza 3 talks about the personification of the speaker. She proclaims that they will be able to feel her in the sunlight and in the rain. Those words are words to comfort to those who are mourning, because the speaker has claimed that she doesn't live in the grave, but that she is still with them in the elements of nature. This allows the readers to understand that they will still have the opportunity to feel her presence, even it's not a physical bodily presence.
Okay, now we will analyze the 7, 8, and 9 lines of the poem Do Not Stand at My Grave and Weep. The poetry sounds like this. When you awaken in the morning's house, I am the sweet uplifting rush of quiet birds in cycle flight. Reading these lines, consider the first metaphor that's not stated here, but only implied. That metaphor is sleep. Sleep is often used to represent death. So there's this sense that you sleep every night and then you awaken. This is just part of the cycle of life. Sure, now things are quiet, but soon everything will be back and return with the morning rush. Soon there will be that uplifting rush of the day. And of course, here too again is the metaphor of the wind and air, which relate to the spirit. So the poem is again noting that life is cyclical. That is not some permanent going away, but only a kind of temporary state of affairs. It is simply a transformation from one aspect of life to another. There is this continuous process taking place, and what we call death is simply one part of it. But we should not see this as somehow final. We sleep every night, and then we awake. Not how we wound up talking about the cyclical nature of life, where death is but not one aspect of the cycle. Well, here we actually get a very clear metaphor of this. Birds are flying in the sky. The sky could be a metaphor for heaven. But not only this, the birds fly in a circle. This might be seen as a circle of life. One bird may die, but the pattern of the flock remains unchanged. There is a constancy here via the eternal process of life leading to death leading to life.
In the 10th line, I am the soft star that shines at night, has the meaning that the speaker compares herself to the star that shines softly in the dark night. Here the poet uses the image of a calm morning and a dark sky that can be compared. The atmosphere we see when people mourn the death of a loved one. Shining star and flying birds are used to bring hope and comfort to loved ones. Line 10 of the poem has an imagery that says, I am the soft star that shines at night, which gives us a picture of a starry night. The star at night is to show that even in darkness, there is a glimmer of light. Even in the darkest of times, there is a glimmer of light, and from that ray of light, they will return. We are never completely without light. There is always hope. The poet does this to give us an idea of the places in nature where you can find them. In addition, there is a metaphor feature of speech found in the word. I am the dead at. In the line 11, don't stand at my grave and cry. In the line 12, I am not here, I did not die. Has the meaning that the speaker is once again asking her loved ones not to cry and reminding them that she is not there in the grave because she died. The speaker means to say that she continues to live in a different way, and the speaker says that she will continue to live in their memories and thoughts. In the poem, there are repetitions located in lines 1 until 2 and 11 until 12. The first line repeated on the 11th line, and the second line is repeated on the 12th line. The rhyme on the until 12th line is shown at the end of the sentence. There are the words night, cry, and